A very, very good morning to everyone. Namaste to each one. Today, as we had decided, what we will start is we will start clearing our subconscious clutter, which is blocking us from drawing boundaries, because drawing boundaries is one topic which has many deep layers inside. It is not even possible to clear them in such a short span of time. But just allowing ourselves to clear it a little bit will also liberate ourselves to be able to think differently and to be able to act differently. Yeah? Everybody is ready for that? Neeta, before I say already, like they already did thumbs up because they know what we are going to do. So, my favorite balanced emotional empowerment technique for the release work is something which I would like to begin with for our clearing, and to replace the new one, we would again start with the Theta downloads. We'll end it with the Theta downloads. So again, I'm just repeating to all of you, you can take any of your hand, doesn't matter. You can tap it, you can rub it. Both are fine. If any one of you is in a sitting posture and you find this uncomfortable, you can move your hands on your knees in the like this direction from in to out. That is also fine because knee is the chakra of change. So whatever is already stagnant, we want to identify and clear that. Majority time on a group, we do not identify. Like one on one, we identify. On group, we just clear the clutter. So just even if you just repeat it in your mind, because I go with a very fast speed here, that is also absolutely fine. If you are able to repeat it, it is okay, but it is not needed. But don't do 10 things together. Just give this time only to yourself and just be here. Like whatever work you are doing, just stop it for a while and do with this. So I want each one to rub the karate chop and say, although when I came down on this earth as a soul, I knew that I'm here for my human experiences. And knowing and realizing and understanding that it is always and always the divine in me which operates out of me. But somewhere I got stuck in the human consciousness, and I started violating the boundaries which ideally I should have kept it in my mind, knowing that we all are children of God, and even God does not come down to tell us how we should do something, what we should do, what we should not do, why we should do, why we should not do. Even the divine has that trust in us that I have given you all the powers. Now it is up to you how you utilize it. But unknowingly, I do not stop myself from doing that and go on giving advices to people thinking I know it the best. And people, or expect it from people, knowing and realizing or feeling that everyone should act ideally as what I feel is right or I feel is correct, without realizing how many times it is out of my ego. And then I want to constantly justify my action, prove myself correct, and to let people know that what I said was the only way out. And that took me away from being able to listen to them, being able to connect to them deeply. I did many times out of frustration, out of irritation, drew my boundaries, but probably unhealthy boundaries. Unhealthy boundaries are when we are very much dependent on someone, and without them, nothing goes into life. We are latching onto them. And then probably we do not differentiate between our energies and their energies. We become needy or greedy of that energy. And that not only harms the other person, but harms me as well. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. I still choose to deeply and completely heal and integrate that part of me. Although the boundaries can come only with the clarity of mind. And the more I know myself, the more I'll be able to draw the rules for myself, and more than drawing the rules for others, being assertive, telling them what to do, what not to do. It's about being assertive with my own self, and I can be assertive with my own self. I can clear and cleanse the past baggage from my body of what happened only when I know who I am and what are my goals. Where do I want to direct my life into? Do I really want to be stuck in the past regrets and resentments? Or do I believe that I deserve to be liberated from all this clutter and negative energy, and I am deserving to live with joy? I'm deserving to live with happiness. To know and realize that we all come down simply to evolve, and the only way the human can evolve is when they get back to their own element. My element is my soul, and the element of my soul is only light and joy. And all this regrets, resentment, prejudices, grudges, procrastination, anger, hatred, cribbing, jealousy, envy, rage, guilt, all of them are very, very heavy energies and dark energies, and that takes away, overpowers the light within me. And then it is as if I am, in spite of being the light, I am sitting in the dark looking and searching for light, just because the lack of clarity and inability to be able to draw boundaries and having clarity of how to draw them and what to do. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. I still choose to deeply and completely heal and integrate that part of me. Both the hands on your chest. Close your eyes. 7 deep breath. Breathe in through the nostril, all the positive energy. Breathe out through the mouth, all the negative energy. Take deep breaths. Rub your karate chop again and say, although my fear of being lonely, my fear of feeling unloved, my fear of being left out alone, and my doubt on my own capabilities always and always blocks me and stops me from drawing boundaries or even think in the direction of drawing boundaries. Because I fear that if I will draw boundary, probably if, for example, as a parent, I draw boundaries with my children, I am not being a responsible parent. What will my children know? And probably I might be correct at some level, but I fail to realize that my child is growing up and it's changing. So, with time, relationships change. And the only way to go about it is to start withdrawing yourself from constantly telling them what to do and what not to do, how to tell them, in what way to communicate, how much open and receptive to be there, to let them tell us what to do and what not to do. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself and heal and integrate that part of me. Although, whether it is my love for my loved ones, whether it is my sense of responsibility, which violates the boundaries, or whether it is my fear that if I say no, or if I would appreciate and know and recognize my own qualities and live my daily life with that, that may make people feel that I'm rejecting them, and then unknowingly I may hurt them. And whether it is my fear of hurting their emotions, which stops me from drawing healthy boundaries, I do not know what it is. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself and heal and integrate that part of me. Both the hands on your chest, 7 deep breath. Breathe in through the nostril all the positive energy, breathe out through the mouth all the negative energy. Although, rub your karate chop again and say, although, we come down here to finish our karmic imbalance. There are some relationships where we are obligated to give. There are some relationships where we are obligated to receive. And that is one point where part of us goes beyond our logic. There is an inner voice which is telling us when to stop, but somehow we ignore that inner voice. I do not know if I am being stuck in any of such karmic obligation with anyone, which is not allowing me to draw healthy boundaries. Probably knowing and realizing that it is quite needed, I still am completely clueless and have no understanding of how to go about it, how to execute it. Probably understanding and realizing drawing boundaries is important, not only for other person's growth, but even for my own growth. And for relationship to remain good, but my inability to have or to draw clarity into how to execute it. Because now that I understand that drawing boundaries is important, I really wish to draw them. But I have never done that before. So my subconscious mind is completely unknown about it and clueless about it. It's not a known experience to me, so I do not know how to unfold it in the healthiest possible way for me. I did start saying no to people. I did start prioritizing myself. I did start being assertive. I did start letting go of certain things, but probably not always being completely in synchronicity with my own energy. Sometimes out of anger, sometimes out of frustration, sometimes out of irritation, sometimes out of helplessness. I started doing that. And that doesn't work because, as we say, the intent with which what we do ends up with the intent with which it has begun. So if I started it being helpless and do that, probably I attracted feeling more helpless. I started it with feeling irritated. Probably I attracted more irritation. So now I do not know how to do that, being in synchronicity with myself, being at the state of bliss, being completely at peace with myself, and allowing the divine to execute it. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself and heal and integrate that part of me, although it is always and always our intuition which guides us in the form of that inner voice of what should be done. And it requires our intellect, our higher self, our angel guides to chart out and plan how to execute it. Probably, if I am connected to my inner voice and I'm listening to it, probably I am allowing my higher self and angel guides to execute it. Probably, if I believe to invoke the divine intelligence and the wisdom within me to allow it to unfold in the healthiest possible way, then whether it is karmic or non karmic, I know I can draw healthy boundaries in every aspect of my life, in every relationship of mine, and that it is completely possible. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself and heal and integrate that part of me. Although, if we allow ourselves to be inspired from the divinity within us, the divine inspiration always connected with the self belief and the confidence and the clarity of what vision we have leads to execution of it in the perfect possible way. And if it is karmic, it allows the divine intervention also to allow ourselves to create a life of our choice. And then it becomes a known experience for me. What is known, I can always enhance it. And once I will be able to draw, and I am being able to draw a boundary in one aspect of my life, in one relationship of mine, probably, it's much easier for me to reproduce that in different way of execution in different relationship and different aspect of my life. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself and heal, integrate that part of me. Both the hands on your chest, 7 deep breath. Breathing in through the nostril, all the positive energy. Breathe out through your mouth, all that is not working for you. And as you are connected with your own self, would you like to know what it feels like to allow the divine wisdom, divine intellect, the divine intuition within you to guide you what it feels like to draw and set healthy boundaries? So I know what it feels like to set healthy boundaries. I know how to do that and that it is safe, it is possible. I know when to draw these boundaries. And I'm deserving of drawing these boundaries. I know that it is possible for me to live my daily life, realizing, accepting, honoring, and respecting the boundaries of mine and others. I have set healthy boundaries in my relationships and every aspect of my life. I know how to execute that in the best possible way and put it into action into different areas of my life and know exactly what to do and what not to do. Know exactly how to verbalize it, when to speak and when to remain silent. I know what it feels like to trust my own intuition for that, to trust the wisdom within me, and understand the difference between the divine wisdom within me and the beliefs that I may have accumulated from my mass consciousness. I understand the difference between my fears talking and the creator's messages coming to me. I understand what it feels like to move beyond the need based and the greed based relationships. I understand what it feels like to create the most beautiful connection with my own self and that it is completely possible. I know how to execute that through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of creator of all that is. Into every cell of my body, every area of my life, at all the full level of my beliefs, for my highest and best in the highest and best possible way. Creator of all that is, it is commanded to instill these feelings into each one who says yes right now and later. These feelings be instilled into each one at the level of their readiness for the each one's highest and best, for their highest and best in the language that that mind understands the best. Thank you. Please say yes, whoever wish to have that. Passing unconditional love, light, and healing to each one now. You all can open your eyes. Today we have done few releases. Please listen to the B rounds. You can do it many, many more times in a day. Listen to the downloads also. As I mentioned, there are many more layers attached to it. Tomorrow, we will continue with the release work and bringing more clarity and clearing it further, especially how our own empathy gets us in the victim mode many times. So tomorrow we will continue with the further clearing, and tomorrow's session also will begin directly from clearing further for the same. So thank you so much everybody for joining. Do clear today's clutter many more times because otherwise you're not ready for tomorrow's cleanse also. There are many, many, many layers attached to that. So thank you so much for joining and being part of this wonderful journey of each one, clearing it together and becoming the better version of ourselves. Many of you have joined the alignment workshop. See you all at 9 p.m. And rest, everyone. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Thank you. See you all.